You know, another big factor is that you guys had your starters intact from the offensive line. So it's got to, you know, not to take a shot at anybody else, but when you have Brandon Sheriff back in the lineup, makes a big difference.
I mean, obviously you got, if not the best offensive guard, right guard in the NFL. And so obviously when you lose a Pro Bowl caliber player, due to injury, obviously that hurts, and our guys do a great job of preparing. And, I feel confident with any player that's playing in our room. But, when you lose a leader like Brandon and, what he brings to our offensive line and just our team in general, it's definitely a big hit.
Morgan, when you know that the opponent you're about to face is allowing 175-plus yards of rushing per week, what's that like for you in the scout week leading up to it when you know it's an opponent that just cannot stop the run, where you guys can just go impose your will on them throughout the game? And that's what you did with Peterson getting over 100.
Obviously, we've had our struggles as well. So, we hadn't ran the ball well until this game. And, to be honest with you, look at those first couple of drives, man. They got a tackle for a loss on a handoff. It wasn't too pretty how we started, but we made some adjustments and some things. And Coach, like I said, man, Coach stuck with the run, man. Like those 1 yard runs that everybody, it's 1 yard and that. Those like you play action the next play and you get a 40-yard gain to Terry McLaren down the field, So when I say we look at those 1 yard runs, man, we're still wearing the D line out. We're still, we're still hitting people, wearing them down. And then you get one of those plays like that from our 1 yard line, you just, 40 yards play action pass.
I'm curious, and I don't know if you had interaction with him. How did Colt McCoy take the demotion? Because a lot of people felt great. Colt gets his opportunity. He goes up against the Patriots. He gets a start, and then you guys go back to Case Keenum. I know he's a professional, but how did he handle it?
One thing, like Coach Locker is right beside mine, man. And one thing about him, man, he's more than just a professional, man. He's a guy that's been on this team for 6 years, and so I've got to know him since my rookie year. And the guy's just a God-fearing man, and he has his beliefs. And when things happen, man, he just keeps on going. Because I sat there and talked to him. He said one thing he said, look, I still got to prepare myself because you just never know what's going to happen. And obviously, the competitor in him is probably, upset. But I know the guy, he just wants what's best for the team. And so, he's definitely a great individual to have on his team. And his leadership qualities are definitely great as well.
Joined by Morgan Moses, Redskins right tackle, talking about their 17-16 win over the Dolphins. So one of the things that was reported was that in practice now, there are developmental periods, and people immediately think that, well, that's about getting Dwayne some reps. Tell us about these developmental periods and how that is different from the practices of the past.
It's nothing has to do about Dwayne or anything like that. The developmental period is basically a period. Obviously you can't get but so much work done on the field, hitting guys and stuff like that. So you have to have these periods where the stuff that you didn't get to in the team period that you can get to in that developmental period, working on techniques. Like I said, working on the rookies that are not playing, that's coming along. Everybody can, critique their technique and get better. And so that's what those periods are for.
So next week, I don't know how much you know about the Niners, but there's only 2 undefeated teams in the league. One's the Patriots, and the other one's the Niners.
Yep.
And they got some pass rushers. You're going to have to be working hard. D. Ford,
yep.
Bosa, Armstead, all those guys. So
all first rounders, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts on the Niners, and what do you know about them and their pass rush?
Obviously, just watching spurts of them on the, up on the TV and things like that. They're a dominant defense. They got Pro Bowl caliber players on each level of their defense, obviously. And, for us is like, you got to continue running the ball, man. One thing that I know, when you run the ball successfully, that dies down the pass rush. So, right now we're going to go in today and look at the film from the Dolphins game. We weren't perfect in that game either. So we got to look at some of the great things that we did throughout that game, and look at some of the things that we can correct as well.
Hey, Morgan, what's going on with your Cavs? Out of the gate fast, 4-0. They've dropped their last two, including this weekend's loss to the U. Duke up next. What's going on with the Cavs?
Obviously they just got to bounce back, man. Obviously they lost a hell of a player on Friday.
Yeah.
Bryce Hall, man, and obviously him in his recovery. But I have total belief in my Hoos, man. Obviously, we lost to Notre Dame, a great team. We lost to a Miami team that's always going to have athletes, And I think their head coach made some good adjustments from that game. They gave up 45 points to Virginia Tech. So, I believe they're going to bounce back, man. They'll bounce back.
How bad is Bryce Hall's injury? Is it a broken ankle or was it something else?
I haven't truly heard, but from what I'm seeing that it's probably it's done for the season. So, obviously, you got a guy that thought about leaving to go to the NFL last year and came back to make his mark, just not only as a football player, but keep on changing the culture there as they keep on getting better on the football field as well. So, anytime you lose a captain, a guy like that, that's I think he's projected to be a first rounder. A high first rounder, it hurts the defense and